Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to another EBTV sports presentation. Tonight from J. Doyle Field here in East Brunswick High School, it is football as East Brunswick meets Hillsborough in the Central Jersey Group 4 semifinal game. Hi, this is Jimmy Allinder, being joined by Kevin Brady. And Kevin, first time East Brunswick has seen state action in quite a few years, aside from the brick game last week, which advanced them to the semifinals. Going up against the third-seeded Hillsborough Raiders, East Brunswick seeded number 2. Give me your thoughts on tonight's contest.
Well, I think you're going to see a real strong running attack from Hillsborough. They are averaging over 20 points a game. It's a strong, well, a balanced team, a strong offense and a strong defense. They're holding opponents to just over 9 points a game. So they've been moving the ball mostly on the ground. They don't throw very often at all. Their quarterback has been very dangerous this season. Ryan Meltreader, we'll be calling his name quite a bit. Chris Jordan, the fullback, has nearly 500 yards this year on the ground, and their touchdown man is halfback Dominic Mazzaghetti, 11 touchdowns so far this season. So he's been being able to stretch the defense a little bit from the backfield. That triple option will be the key for East Brunswick to find a way to stop that. Okay,
and Kevin, it does sound like you just talked about East Brunswick, actually. They seem to mirror each other, these two teams. Mark Mariano, obviously the very smooth and poised quarterback, he will be counted on heavily to provide a lot of the offense, but East Brunswick has some other weapons as well, do they not?
Oh, sure. I mean, and you mentioned Matt first, the quarterback, Matt Mariano. I mean, we've been able to watch him grow up over the past few years here, and it seems with each game he's gained that confidence that's so important running this deceptive option attack. But you have some passing options as well. What Matt doesn't throw very often, but he has 6 touchdowns through the air this year. He's completed 6 passes. Danny Fessel is a big receiving weapon, and so is Rob Ayala. They've caught the ball on those rare opportunities that East Brunswick does throw the ball. You also have Nick Zelak on the ground, who's a strong gainer, has over 600 yards for East Brunswick as well. He and Mariano, kind of a two-pronged attack, running the ball in the option.
And something else that's similar with these both teams, they've all played in close games. East Brunswick coming away with a 13-12 victory over Brick Township last Sunday to advance to these semifinals. And Hillsborough having its way with Lawrence winning 20-6. However, through the course of the season, you look at the scores, and they have eked out 2 wins in overtime over Hunterdon Central and Franklin early on in the season. East Brunswick coming away with some close regular season victories, beating Woodbridge 14-13 2 weeks ago here, and then the week before that, South Brunswick 23-21. So a lot of comparisons to make. Field conditions should be okay. We have a nice evening here. Field is somewhat muddy, maybe dry. We'll have to see if that's a situation that warrants looking at, but nonetheless, we're excited for tonight's game. 2 quality teams, both with 8-1 records, good defenses, predictable offenses, let's say that, but a game that perhaps might come down to the wire. So with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with kickoff right after this. Alrighty, we are back here at J. Doyle Field, where we're getting ready for the kickoff between East Brunswick and Hillsborough in our state semifinal, Central Jersey Group 4. And both teams, Kevin Brady, are fired up for this game.
Yeah, I'm sure this is one that both have been looking forward to a while. We know, obviously, doing the East Brunswick games or following them for several years, this is a game they've been pointing toward for a long time. They've been getting stronger every year and really building toward hopefully a culmination today with a victory and then an appearance in 2 weeks in this sectional championship game.
All right, Hillsborough has elected to receive. I'm going to regret that I did not see who won the toss. It is entirely possible that East Brunswick deferred to the second half. However, they will be kicking off, and Mr. Quagliera, who has been doing the kickoff duties for East Brunswick, it looks like he's going to be kicking off, Kevin. Something to note about the punting games, both teams have excellent punters. Raphael Denise, of course, for East Brunswick, has been doing a great job. And we understand that for Hillsborough, a Chris Sesnianak is a potential Division I prospect. His brother Ryan went to the University of Rhode Island on a scholarship. So we'll pay attention. That could have a bearing on the field position for both teams.
Especially in a close defensive game like this game could be.
okay, about ready for the kickoff. Quaglieri puts his foot into it. It's a short side-winding kick that's picked up by number 9. That's Donahue. Brings it up and brought down on about the 32-yard line. That's where the Raiders will begin. Teams look equal in terms of size.
Balls return to the 31-yard line where Hillsborough Raiders take over.
You saw East Brunswick there keeping the ball in the center of the field, trying to keep the ball where they have the majority of their players, and also a low kick, not allowing too much time to get there for the Hillsborough runner to pick up any speed and break something long to start a game like this. Obviously, nerves and tensions may be up for those opening few plays.
All right, that's Mule Treader. Gives it off in the middle. Met in the backfield, actually. Maybe the line of scrimmage the runner got back to. That was carried by Mazzagatti, their hard-nosed fullback.
Yeah, John Park really shot in there nicely. Met him just as he received the ball. Hillsborough perhaps fortunate that ball wasn't jarred loose by the big hit.
Called a gain of a half yard on the play, so make it second down and 9 for the Raiders. Underway here at J. Doyle Field. First quarter, no score. Meltreader calling signals. Gives it off. Nope. There's a pitch to the outside. Fessel chasing him. And good yardage there on that option.
And you can see that's the deceptive triple option that Hillsborough is going to be employing today. The good fake to the fullback there freezes the line and the linebackers. East Brunswick's really going to have to stay disciplined on the edge and not let them get its separation out wide. And the quarterback, you can see he's dangerous too, holding on to that ball to the last second before he pitches it.
Mazzagatti gets 11 yards, brings it up to the 42, so it is first down for Hillsborough. First down of the game. Meltreader gives it to Mazzagatti once more, and he gets some good yardage, actually, before he's dragged down.
Mazzagatti again with a pickup of 4.
You can see that's more of a power set there with the 3 backs in the backfield, a full house backfield. They're running the power, keeping him behind both running backs. Not as deceptive there, looking to get numbers into the hole and try to drive East Brunswick back, and he wasn't even touched before he had a gain of 4 or 5 yards there.
I think more like 6, actually. So it's 2nd and 4. Third back through, that's Jordan, and he's met just about 2 yards shy of the first down marker.
Yeah, that'll bring up our first tough third down play, and these could be a key in a game like this. Two teams that like the ground attack. They're looking for 3-4 yards a carry. If they can do that, they can move the chains. East Brunswick needs to rise defensively and see if they can force them to 4th down.
Kevin, as we have a chance, let's talk about that East Brunswick line, because they're obviously going to be key in this situation tonight. 3rd and 2 for Hillsborough. Ball resting on midfield. And quarterback keeps it and drop for a loss.
Danny Fessel really shot in there nice. Once again, this is the second time we've seen East Brunswick be able to break through the line and really blow up the Hillsborough play before it could even develop. And that's been the key. When Hillsborough's had a little time and a little push, they've gained 6, 7, 8 yards. On that play, obviously East Brunswick disrupting it. Fessel leading the charge.
So the Cisniak is going to be the punter for Hillsborough. We talked about him.
We had a great punter on this field not too many years ago.
And
Josh Miller.
Actually not that good of a kick. Sort of bounds around after about maybe 25 yards. So East Brunswick gets decent field position to begin their first opportunity tonight. Ball on the 30-yard line, they're going to call it.
Sure, very similar position to where Hillsborough started the game, and that's perhaps the initial jab of the game here. In field position, obviously in a close game, field position becomes very important. You had mentioned in the open, a Hillsborough punting game for them, hoping that they could pin East Brunswick probably a little deeper than that.
All right, so this is our first look at the East Brunswick offense tonight. Matt Mariano, the quarterback, and a shotgun, interestingly enough, Kevin.
You know Marcus Borden is going to have some surprises here for Hillsborough.
Right. Mariano actually brought down in the backfield. Hit by number 73 for Hillsborough. That would be Well, he's not listed.
Yeah, he really disrupted the play, the nameless warrior out there. Disrupted the play by breaking into the backfield. East Brunswick obviously used the shotgun there, a little deceptive there, looking to get the ball quickly to Mariano to sprint out to the right. Unfortunately, he couldn't even get free of number 73.
So that loss makes it 2nd and 11. Mariano up behind the center this time. Keeps it, goes through the middle, and brought down after very little gain, actually maybe a loss on the play.
And you saw that was East Brunswick's first show of the full house backfield. 3 running backs back there. Mariano looking for the deception, faked it for the dive to the fullback, looked to follow into that gap there, but Hillsborough didn't allow any gap at all.
So with that run to just about the line of scrimmage, making it 3rd down and 11 for East Brunswick. 7:50 to go in the first quarter. No score between East Brunswick and Hillsborough. Mariano on a reverse to the side, cut through the middle. That was Jovan Jones, who gets maybe a yard. Going to bring up a 4th down for the Bears and their first punting situation.
Yeah, you have to give Hillsborough's line, or Hillsborough's entire defense, credit on that one. East Brunswick went with a little misdirection, ran all of the shifting and the motion to the left-hand side of the field. Jones coming in on a little inside reverse handoff, and we've seen East Brunswick be successful with that, quickly hitting almost like a trap, hitting that ball back in the vacated area. But Hillsborough stayed disciplined and was able to stop it for a very short gain.
All right, East Brunswick's punter, Rafael Danis, will see what he can do. Low punt. Center, just gets it off. Takes an East Brunswick bounce, so they sort of lucked out on that one.
Yeah, beautiful job by the punter there. Beautiful job by Denise.
And still rolling, actually down to about the 37-yard line. So all in all, East Brunswick accomplishes its goal by getting that kickoff.
And I tell you, I mean, that's a huge play in the game right there. If that ball, if he takes an extra second, it looks like they were about to block the kick. If he never gets the handle of it, Hillsborough's looking at 1st and 10 from inside the East Brunswick 20-yard line. In this case, now Hillsborough kind of back where they started the game. So about 6 minutes through, and we're back where we started.
So the Raiders take over on their own 37. Here's the give to Mazzagatti. He's caught in the backfield. There's a fumble on the play. And what are they going to say here?
Number 30,
East Brunswick has the ball.
John Park with the fumble recovery.
And the first break in the game goes to East Brunswick. Bears taking over on the Hillsborough 37-yard line on John Park's fumble recovery. I don't know if that was a bad exchange, Kevin, or whether or not Park just stripped the ball carrier.
Yeah, I think it was an earlier East Brunswick defender who was able to pop it loose right after the handout, but you're right, I don't think he ever secured that ball. And Jim, look at in back-to-back plays the difference there. A near fumble by East Brunswick on the punt that Denise makes a big play. Next play, Hillsborough fumbles, East Brunswick 1st and 10 from good field position.
All right, Mariano's now I don't know if he was dragged down or if he slipped on that field. The sledding has been tough. It kind of looks like all brown down there where we are.
It almost has a greenish tint. I wonder if it might even be painted dirt at this point. We've seen teams do that before.
Oh, yeah. So no gain on the play. Well, we'll give him maybe a half yard. Make it 2nd, 9.5 yards to go. With this running game here, the clock's been moving continuously, so it's 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter. This is only the 3rd possession.
Yeah, neither team has thrown a pass so far.
Here's our first pass.
I say it.
Down the sideline is Dalton. And just through his outstretched hands.
Yeah, Warner Jones, number 3 for Hillsborough, real strong in the coverage there, stride for stride with him. And Dalton made a good attempt at the ball, jumped up, but the Hillsborough defender staying on him. It would have been a fantastic catch, a very tough catch at the same time.
Kevin, I think that was a necessary pass in the sense that Hillsborough was starting to just expect the running game. They needed to open things up.
And as I had mentioned in the opening, Mariano has thrown 6 touchdown passes this season. This is an option. Right. Despite the running nature of the East Brunswick offense, this is something that they do. They lull you into a false sense of security.
Okay, well, let's watch for Fessel. Nope, Mariano's going to keep it and goes through the middle. And does he have enough for the first down? Might.
It's going to be very close.
I think they're going to mark it maybe a half yard short. Obviously, they're going to go for this.
Yeah, that was Paul Mickelzuk from Hillsborough. He's their leading tackler coming into the game, stopping him, it appears, just short.
I had mentioned that Danny Fessel is a viable target for the Bears. We'll have to keep our eye on number 83. Sure-handed.
Sure, he's actually the Bears' leading receiver in yardage.
So then they didn't measure this, and we'll say it's just 1 yard to go. So our first big play of the game, actually. 4th and 1 for the Bears. Give is up the middle to Jones. Depends where they mark it, actually.
The official on the near side looks like he's inside the hash mark there. At about the 26.5. I believe if he's at the 26.5, he's got it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kevin. He's probably got it by length of a football, actually.
Have some room to jump because the offensive line, left guard, left tackle for East Brunswick.
East Brunswick there went with that power look, giving the ball to Jones, running it through a stacked left-hand side.
Joe Van Jones room to jump as they bring out the chains.
And they stretch the marker.
And that's just about it. Length of the football. So the East Brunswick offense with its first down of the game.
And that was set up by that big play on the 3rd down by Mariano. And there, again, as you mentioned, with Hillsborough having to play the pass and perhaps a little bit worried about the pass, Mariano able to exploit that up the middle with a little kind of a quarterback draw there.
Ball resting on the 27-yard line, 26-yard line, actually. 1st and 10 for the Bears. And what do we have here?
Yeah, penalty marker coming from the far side.
Well, let's see what this is. Well, looks like they're going to mark it off against the Bears. Legal procedure on that play. I have a feeling yards going to be hard to come by tonight, Kevin.
Sure, and you can see that in the first few possessions. Two teams that pride themselves on their defense.
So it's 1st and 15 from the 32-yard line. Clock continues to run. 4:40 left to go in the first period of play. There is no score between these two teams. Mariano calling signals. Pitches to the right. That's to give to Zelak. He gets through the first layer. And gets good yardage. Actually back to the original line of scrimmage, I would say. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think Zelak there was able to get about 6 or 7 yards downfield before he met any Hillsborough resistance. Great job by the East Brunswick offensive line, even the receivers on that side, creating that space for him. If you can get that 7-8 yard head start before you hit contact, you're going to be very successful.
All right, you got Dalton split to the top side. Fessel and tight end. Mariano's going to loft it in the middle to Dan Fessel. And a good defensive play there.
Yeah, the ball was actually deflected there by Warner Jones.
Yep.
It hit off his hand, then it actually hit Fessel in the shoulder pad. Would have been very obviously difficult catch with the deflection. But again, we see East Brunswick looking to go on top of that Hillsborough defense. There was actually two defensive backs in the area there for Hillsborough. So they were ready for Fessel, I believe.
The incomplete pass makes it 3rd down. 10 yards to go for East Brunswick to get the first down. Obviously a passing situation. Well, you know, nothing's obvious about East Brunswick. You never know what they're going to do. There's the pitch to Jones. Juggles it. Gets through and stood up.
I think he's over the line. I think he's going to pick up that first down.
You're right. Yep.
Real nice job there by Jones hanging on to that ball. Mariano really waited to the last possible second to make that pitch. That's a key of running the option effectively. Once he does that, Jones, who bobbled it for a moment, was able to find the control just in time.
So the first down for East Brunswick, 1st and goal actually, inside the 10-yard line. Check that, it is on the 14-yard line. Mariano gives it up the middle. And now that East Brunswick offensive line is trying to move forward. Gets about 2 on that play.
You can be very successful if you can pick up 2 or 3 yards on that dive. 3 is what you're going for. If you can pick up 3 yards on a dive, you're winning.
Down to 2:50 left to go. First quarter of play. This is the first serious threat by either team. 2nd down and 8. Mariano moves to the right, pumps, throws again, caught, And Zelak slips and falls just about out on the 5-yard line, out of bounds.
Yeah, real nice catch on the run there by Zelak. The ball thrown, I think, slightly behind him. And Mariano, with a tough pass, he's on the run as well. Zelak holds that ball and takes it very close to another East Brunswick first down.
Right, so the East Brunswick Bears in good position here with 2 opportunities to get that first down.
It'll be very interesting if they don't get it on this play to see what kind of decision they make in what looks like a slightly slick area of the field.
Right. This is where the experience of Matt Mariano really pays off. He's very smooth with that ball, makes good decisions. Mariano, pitch out to the right to Jones, cuts inside, actually loses.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just short.
Yep. It is very obvious that Hillsborough can stay with East Brunswick laterally. So they're going to really have some opportunities here to move the ball.
Looks like they need to get just inside the 5, probably to about the 4.5. They're a full half-yard short here.
Right, and no chance of a field goal. Let's see. Now they're going to call timeout. Talk about this. Mariano is a very capable field goal and has been called on a number of times this year in very important situations to convert those field goals.
And while this isn't a long distance kick, I mean, they're at the 5-yard line, so it's not much longer than an extra point. If you look at the angle, it could be much more difficult than an extra point because it's a very severe angle. It's on the left hash mark. The ball lies on the left hash mark there, which is actually outside the goalpost. So that could make such a kick a little more challenging. I think East Brunswick's going to go for it, though. That would be my prediction.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Matt, if you can hear me in Q, Matt.
Jim, what do you think of the Hillsborough defense so far? Do you think they're reeling a little bit, or do you think they're surprised by East Brunswick's ability to move the ball so far?
I thought this is the way it would go. I think the yards have come tough for East Brunswick, yet they've been grinding it out. And by the same token, I think Hillsborough is going to have the same
effect on the East Brunswick defense. Yeah,
right. So we'll have to see what happens. That's why points are going to be important here.
Which is why you may take the 3, but they're not going to take
do
the 3.
It. Okay, here we go. Big 4th down. East Brunswick going to pass.
Very interesting.
Mariano's got some room to run, and he goes to the end zone. Looks like he's in. Hillsborough was so set on guarding the pass receivers that they let Mariano all alone on the right side, and he just used the speed to get in the end zone.
And you've got to know that about Mariano. He is dangerous with the arm, but he's just as dangerous, or perhaps even more dangerous, with his legs. And I don't think Hillsborough fell asleep. I think Hillsborough was probably very surprised by East Brunswick rolling and looking to throw that. I know I was surprised when I saw him step back to throw that ball. But obviously he stayed with the play, rolled right, and found the end zone.
All right, Mariano, who's also the kicker, he's on, and he puts it through.
Every point could be very important tonight. Making that first extra point is a key. We've seen in the last few weeks, East Brunswick against Woodbridge a couple weeks ago, the difference, 1 extra point, 14-13. Last week, Brick Township, same thing, 13-12. Difference is 1 extra point. So that first 7 hopefully proves important for the Bears.
So at the 2:01 mark of the first quarter, it is East Brunswick out to a 7-0 lead on Matt Mariano's 6-yard run, coming on a 4th down.
30 for Brad Benson in the first quarter.
7-0. So East Brunswick will try to capitalize. This is not a team that's going to score a lot of points. That's why I think this was this first strike was very important for the Bears.
Yeah, and I think I still look back at that 3rd down and 10 play from the 32-yard line there that East Brunswick ran, where Mariano was able to get those 9 and give him a chance on 4th down. East Brunswick was successful on 2 4th downs on that drive.
Absolutely.
I mean, those are the differences in games.
Vinny Quaglieri, as he did the first time, will kick it. Now, he punched it the first time he had the ball, fearing a run back, and does the same thing. Picked up on the grounder. Looks like Mazzagatti has it, and he has some running room. No, it's not. It's yep, got it. That would be the quarterback.
Meltreader, yep, Ryan Meltreader on the run back. Probably not a guy who's used to having the ball in his hands.
By the way, new quarterback coming into the game here now. That would be Troy Seibert. We were told that Hillsborough would utilize both quarterbacks, so Seibert is now in calling signals for Hillsborough. First and 10 at the 41 for Hillsborough. 7-0 East Brunswick. And with decent running, Hillsborough finds some yards there. I'm trying to figure out who that is. Number 36 is the last one up. That would be Chris Rick. 38, Anthony Visicaro.
Another name we hadn't called
Right.
yet.
It's like a whole second team in.
Yeah, and Hillsborough went with a power look there again. Now here we see the two H-backs, or the two wing backs.
2nd and 5 for Hillsborough at their own 45. Up the middle is number 31. He's through. And let's see if they get him. A saving tackle for East Brunswick.
Yeah, Jimmy McCluskey saves the touchdown there with the shoestring tackle, but Hillsborough with a big gain, and you saw them right up the middle there. They opened up, had a shift going outside, but then the quick hitter with the fullback dive really picked up about 39 yards.
Right, and has a first down now, Hillsborough does, on the East Brunswick 25-yard line. Under 1 minute to play in the first quarter. East Brunswick 7-0. This is Hillsborough's first opportunity in East Brunswick territory. Quarterback keeper, Seibert, and they get him after actually no gain.
Big hit by Raftanese, it looked like, on the inside there, number 69 for the Bears, shooting through the gap, getting to the Hillsborough quarterback before he could really turn that ball upfield.
So a 2nd and 10 for Hillsborough as the clock winds down. Under 20 seconds. He might not get this play off. Actually, it looks like they will. There's the snap. Seibert looks like he's going to go back to pass.
He has a man
He's
open,
being
but he
chased,
couldn't see him.
and they got him.
I tell you, he had a man open deep. East Brunswick bit a little bit.
All righty, that's the end of the first quarter of play. And East Brunswick with a 7-0 lead, and Hillsborough now staring at a 3rd down and long.
Great job by the pressure there up the middle, stopping the quarterback from seeing anything. They had no time to let that play develop. The East Brunswick Bears defense in his backfield before he could set his feet. That big play turns what could have been a 3rd and 10 into a 3rd and 20.
All right, so East Brunswick with a pretty good quarter of play here, I would say. Kevin, what do you think?
East Brunswick's got to be very happy. The one big play that Hillsborough's had in this game was that dive up the middle by the fullback for about a 30-yard gain or a 35-yard gain that just happened right a few plays ago. East Brunswick looks like they've recovered, though. After that, the nice hit by Denise stopped the quarterback for no gain. Then you have the big sack. Now Hillsborough's backed up to a 3rd and very long. So East Brunswick trying to turn the momentum after that big gain.
Right, two sacks, if you will, to respond to the 39-yard run by Hillsborough that had them with a first down on the 25. Now it is 3rd down and 20 for Hillsborough. Seibert going to throw it. He's being chased once more. Is he going to get it off? Yes, he does, to the other side. And good defense by East Brunswick Park. Dalton, actually. He was there when he should have been.
East Brunswick had 2 defenders in the flat over there. Hillsborough tried a little, again, misdirection, rolling the pocket, rolling most of their players to the right hand or the near side of the field. They released that one receiver over to the far side, looking to catch East Brunswick, maybe over pursuing. East Brunswick kept two defenders in the area. Dave Dalton is the one who breaks it up.
Interesting. It looks like Hillsborough may be going for this on 4th and 20. With the ball on the 35, on the East Brunswick 35. Interesting call here.
Might look for a quick kick also.
Seibert under center, going back to pass. He's looking downfield, throws it long, and they're going to call it in? Yes, they call it a catch. Beautiful catch by Magriezetti. And that is a big first down for Hillsborough.
He needed 20. It looked like he got about 24 with it. I had thought for a moment that the ball was juggled a bit as he was going down, but he did a great job of keeping his feet. He only needs the 1 foot, but he kept both feet in, tucked in the corner there.
Okay, so a first down for Hillsborough on the East Brunswick 12-yard line. Seibert showing a good arm. Give up the middle. Brought to the outside. They got him. And that was 38, Visicaro.
Also, yeah, number 30, John Park, again, getting into that backfield, breaking up the play. Real important. And we've seen the East Brunswick line do that several times here in the first quarter and 30 seconds of the second quarter.
That's what I sense about this East Brunswick defense. A little quicker off the ball, able to penetrate, not necessarily by overpowering their men, but certainly getting through, beating their blocks. Second down and 12. Ball on the 14. Give it once more is up the middle, and they got him backfield.
John Park again shooting the hole. Raf Denise finishes him off in the backfield once again. It's interesting because you mentioned the speed, and it looks like East Brunswick's using their speed in the middle of the line, which is something you don't often see. Usually that's the big, strong kids, the heavier kids, perhaps also the slower kids in the middle. But you're seeing East Brunswick with its quicker, more athletic players just shooting through those gaps up in the middle, really disrupting what Hillsborough's trying to do.
All right, the Raiders face with another 3rd and long, this time 3rd and 14. Ball resting outside the 16-yard line. Seibert back, looking into the end zone. Goes against one's tackle, and they throws it away. Let's see. They are gonna call it incomplete. Thought they had him in the grasp, but that was not the call.
That was number 53, Greg Byrne, a real strong defensive lineman for East Brunswick, and he had the quarterback on the run from the beginning. I thought you might see an intentional grounding flag there as well, because he was clearly in the defensive lineman's grasp, threw the ball pretty much into the ground.
Bears defense very active this series. Now they're going to try a field goal, it looks like. This from the 23-yard line. Let's call it a 33-yard attempt. And I can't catch who that is, Kevin, if you can help me. And blocked. Blocked by East Brunswick, and they're going to get possession right there. And it looks like Park was the one that got in there.
Now the kicker was Derek Douglas for Hillsborough, who had the kick, and he really never looked like he got it up. And that could have to do with the field conditions as well. He could have slipped a little bit on the field there. Like you said, it looks a little slick. I don't know how it is to pick up on the camera, but it looks a little slick out there. That one didn't look like it had much of a chance at all from the start.
All right, so East Brunswick dodges a bullet there.
Converting on that long 4th down looked like it could cause a lot of trouble for East Brunswick. But
ball on the 22-yard line. First down for East Brunswick. This is Zelak, and he's going to get caught in the backfield.
Yeah, that big loss on the play, not how you want to start a drive in 1st and 10, and that really backs them up to inside their own 15-yard line. Kind of restricts some of your choices offensively here.
Rather large-sized crowd here now as we look over on the stands.
You just love the sound of high school playoff football. You know, there's an electricity in the air here at East Brunswick.
2nd and 16. Give is up the middle to Zelak. He gets some running room. Gain of about 5 on the play, we'll say. Make it 3rd and 12. 3rd and 11.
The nice thing there is he got back some of that yardage that they lost on the first play. That opens up a little more that they can do here on 3rd and 11. They don't have to feel like the only thing they can do is chuck the ball along. They have a few options here, and Mariano's legs obviously being one of them.
So a 3rd and 11 for the Bears. Mariano calling signals. Sprints to his left, throws downfield. There's Fessel, and ball knocked away, it looks like. Ellis, the defender for Hillsborough.
Yeah, Dave Ellis breaking that play up just at the end. It looked like Danny Fessel had his hands on it for a moment, and that could have been enough for an East Brunswick first down.
I'm wondering, Kevin, if Danny was actually looking the ball into his arms rather than reaching out for it. That might have been the difference of making a catch and having it batted away. Nonetheless, it's a 4th down for the Bears, and they will be faced with another punting situation. Denise, remember, he had to recover from a low snap to get off a kick. Let's see if the Bears can do a better job. That's a good one. And Denise gets off a wobbly kick, and it's fielded by Mazzagatti. goes up the middle, breaks it one tackle, and then brought down by Zelak. And Hillsborough in East Brunswick territory. That's where they'll begin, on the Bears' 46-yard line.
Sure, about a 9-yard return there, and that's a decent size, decent length in a return for a high school a punt. But you have to keep. East Brunswick does a nice job getting coverage on Denise's punt. Denise puts that ball up in the air. There's a lot of time there. If Hillsborough gets their blocking set up, you could be looking at a big play the other way.
All right. Let's see. Seibert continues to be calling signals. He tosses it to Mazzagatti. Excuse me, this is number 9. And they're going to get him. Fessel, that is. That was Donahue, the ball carrier.
He had a penalty marker on the play, too. I think I saw Hillsborough move a bit early also. If I'm East Brunswick, I'd probably decline this penalty,
Absolutely. With that loss?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually a rather large loss on the play. Let's see. No, I'll take it back. About a 3-yard loss on the play. So they will refuse this. I don't want to say anything too soon, but as this game has gone along, East Brunswick's defense has suddenly gotten stronger.
We have seen, though, on a couple of glimpses that the potential for Hillsborough, a quick strike attack with their powerful running game. That's East Brunswick's going to have to guard against that one quick hitter.
2nd and 13. Hillsborough. Quarterback keeps it and gets very little.
I made sure I watched closely on that time how East Brunswick's attacking this Hillsborough offensive line, and they have 5 men on their defensive line. East Brunswick does, but then what they're doing is they're putting 2 or 3 players and shooting right through gaps in the center. They're really attacking the Hillsborough center of that offensive line, and it looks like right around both sides of the center. And you'll see that as the play develops. They're really looking to shoot through the middle and really disrupt through the middle. Usually you'll blitz from the outside. You see them coming on the inside.
We'll give Seibert 1 yard on that play, making it 3rd and 12. He's going to throw. Has some protection there. Down the middle. And there was little Jimmy McCluskey reaching up just high enough to make that deflection and causing a 4th down for Hillsborough.
You saw the 2 Hillsborough receivers there looking at each other, too. I think they probably wound up a little too close to each other on that play. It looked like both of them were surprised to see the other. They had a bunch of players in that one small area. Probably not what you want to do offensively.
Jimmy McCluskey, all 5'4", 133 pounds, but I'm really glad he's on East Brunswick. He really comes up with some big plays. 4th down for Hillsborough.
Tough player.
Thought there was some movement there, but yes, they did call it. And I think Hillsborough jumped a little too soon, but we'll wait.
Yeah, it looked like movement on both sides, but I think Hillsborough perhaps drew them off, and that'll cost Hillsborough 5 more.
Actually, looks like they're going to mark it off against East Brunswick. Interesting.
I thought I saw a twitch from here on the right side of the Hillsborough line, but again, you had several players moving and perhaps more players moving from East Brunswick.
All right, ball on the East Brunswick 43-yard line. Again, we're talking about a really good kicker in Sesniak, who his specialty is pinning teams down in their deep in their own zone. See what he does here. Gets off a kick that takes a bounce sideways and goes out of bounds on about the 16-yard line.
Good job there by Sesniak, pinning East Brunswick inside their own 20-yard line. And I saw something on that play on the snap that perhaps led to East Brunswick jumping off. It looks like the center almost double hitches that ball a little bit. And I bet that's something Marcus Borden will be talking to about the officials before the next Hillsborough punt.
All right, 7:19 left to go here. East Brunswick will take over on its own 15-yard line. Yards have been tough tonight. Mariano keeps it up the middle. He's got room. Through. And a nice run by Matt Mariano. Credited for 16 yards.
Number 72 for Hillsborough. They're all fired up at Ryan. That's Ryan Fitzgerald. Seemed to be fired up. I don't know if he's trying to will his team on the defensive line to close those holes a little bit. Mariano scampers through. And there's a difference in this drive right away. East Brunswick, their first play of last drive, starting similar field position, lost 8 yards. Here, a much different story.
Mariano gives it up the middle to Jones, and he had a little daylight there, and it closed up quickly.
He picks up 2.
In an option running game like East Brunswick has, you just want to keep putting plus yards on the field. 3 yards, 4 yards. Keep that ball moving forward. Don't put yourself in 2nd and 18, 2nd and 15. 2nd and 7 is very manageable, especially when they can scamper for 10 or 12 on any one play.
3-yard gain on that play makes it 2nd and 7 for the Bears. 6:20 left to go in the second quarter. East Brunswick 7-0. Mariano keeps it. Boy, that hole closed up quickly.
It did look like he had several Hillsborough players biting on the fake. He put that ball into the fullback's belly for a moment, pulled it out real quick, and then started his scamper to the right. But Hillsborough did adjust and close that hole because it was there for a second.
So we have a 3rd down, about 6 yards to go for an East Brunswick first down. We got a pass play here, Kevin?
East Brunswick was successful on their touchdown drive, throwing toward the end of it.
Here it is, Mariano going to keep it. Oh, and they get him about 2-3 yards shy the first down.
I think running might be the product of running there might be the product of having a 7-0 lead in the first place. You have the lead, you're still in your own half of the field. Hey, play the field position. You have the field position now. Play the field position. Let Denise pop that ball down the field again. All
right, Jones and Mazzagatti deep for Hillsborough as Denise sets up the punt once more. It's a good snap. Denise gets it off another wobbly kick. It's going to bounce and sort of just dies as East Brunswick downs it on the 42-yard line. So back and forth we go. Neither team actually moving the ball with any degree of consistency. The one score coming in the first quarter as East Brunswick capitalized on a fumble to get the ball deep in Hillsborough territory, and then Mariano ran it in from 6 yards out on a sweep to make it 7-0 East Brunswick. That coming at 2 minutes to go in the first period, and that's where we stand.
And not to forget, East Brunswick converted 2 4th downs on that the play, including on that drive, including the touchdown.
Exactly. Okay, let's see. Seibert gives the ball to Mazzagatti. Gets decent yards on that play.
Yeah, Danny Fessel on the outside crashed in, kept his contained, forced the runner not to get outside of him, forced him back to the inside where he had help, and 5 yards on the inside. It's probably a victory for East Brunswick on that one because he had some daylight on the edge.
2nd and 5 for the Breeders. Seibert goes to his left. He looks, pitches out, and he has some room on the outside. That was number 38, Visacaro.
And that could be an example of what happens when you don't keep that edge. The Hillsborough runner able to pick up probably about 15 yards of open space before anybody was able to drag him down. It looked like Rob Ayala tripped him up at the end of that play.
So a first down into East Brunswick territory for the Raiders. Ball on the 35-yard line. 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Seibert gives up the middle. Jordan with it. Fumbles the ball. Who's got it? I think East Brunswick has it. Yes, they do.
John Park again with the recovery.
Exactly. Stripping the ball, and East Brunswick. Jordan was not really paying attention to, hiding that ball, and Park was there to strip it right from his hands.
What started as a very strong effort by Jordan, because he really was dragging 2 or 3 East Brunswick defensive linemen with him, and he was carrying that ball forward. But you saw the ball extended in the East Brunswick player. I couldn't pick up who actually knocked it loose.
I think it was Park.
It was Park,
sure.
Yeah. And he came through and punched that ball out and then fell on it.
Okay. Mariano going to throw it. It's a screen pass. There's Zelak with it. Let's see if they catch him. Yep. Oh, there's a fumble right there into the arms of a Hillsborough player. And what a turn of events there.
Looked like 26 Jimmy McCluskey saving a touchdown there at the end of that play. really alertly, as that ball quickly started going the other way for Hillsborough. He stayed in on the play and tripped him up. Now East Brunswick's defense is going to be tested, and this is a fumble in a tough spot for East Brunswick.
Ball is on the 18-yard line. Raiders with a first down. Seibert to Jordan, and they actually get him in the backfield there.
Looked like 63, Dan Lax for East Brunswick, really stopping up any kind of hole there in the middle of the field. And this is what's interesting now is Hillsborough's given a chance the way East Brunswick was given a chance in the first quarter with a fumble close to their own end zone. Hillsborough's challenge is to make East Brunswick pay the way East Brunswick made them pay earlier.
Loss of a half yard on the play, making it 2nd and 11. This is Seibert. He's going to pass. Look in the end zone. There's a pass to the flank, caught, and almost to the end zone. Knocked out of bounds on about the 1-yard line.
Jimmy McCluskey again with the tackle. Hillsborough, though, is in a fine position right now with 1st and goal from the 1-yard line.
So this is the Raiders knocking on the door. We've got plenty of time, 2:54 remaining in the second quarter.
Pass play by Seibert, and again, just like for East Brunswick, Mariano had the angle running towards the end zone. That time, Visicaro had the angle running to get down to the 1.
Seibert under center. Takes the sneak. Is he in? They're going to take their time. Yep, they call it. Touchdown. So Hillsborough on the board with 2:31 left to go in the second quarter of play. 7-6 East Brunswick with the point to go. Obviously an important extra point.
Especially coming off his last attempt at the longer field goal. This becomes a very big point. We'll see if that's weighing on his mind, that missed field goal a few moments ago.
Morton to do the extra point, puts it up. They blow the whistle before the extra point attempt. Who's this on? Offside, East Brunswick.
That'll move him half the distance to the goal line here. I wonder if that
I tell you
up
what,
a question to Hillsborough right now.
Well,
do we think about punching this in for 2?
I tell you what, that's the reason why I don't like calling the play dead on extra points, because that point was good for Hillsborough, yet they have to kick it again.
Mm-hmm, sure.
So here we go. Really no advantage. Center snap is good, put down, and bounces against the upright and goes through.
He bounces it through. Yeah, that's the difference right now. And actually now there is no difference. It's 7-7. That could have been the difference in the game right there.
So Hillsborough, each team actually takes advantage of a turnover to notch the score, and that's what we have, a tie game, 7-7. With 2 minutes and 31 seconds left in this first half of play. We thought, Kevin, coming into this game, it would be against 2 evenly matched teams, and it really has borne out that way.
Sure, the first half has been, that's been evident, and both teams are very accustomed to playing close games. I think East Brunswick particularly so when you consider their last 3 games, a 2-point win, a 1-point win, and a 1-point win. They've been in these type of games all season, especially at the end of the season, and that's what state playoff football is. You get the top teams from the area left at this time of the year, and one play can make a difference. And we saw Hillsborough fumble and East Brunswick get a touchdown. Now you saw East Brunswick fumble and Hillsborough answer with the touchdown.
All right, this is the first opportunity we have to see Hillsborough kick, and it is Derek Douglas kicking off for Hillsborough, and he puts another line drive caught in midair by Fessel, who goes up the middle up to the 43-yard line before he's wrestled down. So So East Brunswick with it, not all that bad field position.
Oh, excellent field position with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. Now we might say that East Brunswick has doesn't have a quick strike attack, but with just over 2 minutes here, they're gonna have a chance, and Mariano can throw.
2 timeouts remaining, I believe. Mariano is going to keep it to the left side, and it's obvious that Hillsborough is keying on Mariano, making sure that there's somebody on him at all times.
Yeah, and that was Chris Rick there from Hillsborough with the shoestring tackle. You saw him just holding on to Mariano's foot, not letting him bounce out. Mariano can be slippery back there. We've seen him pop out of what seemed like sure tackles and turning him into big gains.
So no gain on the play, so that'll make it 2nd and 10. Mariano keeps it again. He's through. And near the first down marker, about 2 yards short, we'll call it. East Brunswick will be faced with a 3rd and 2. Ball just inside the Hillsborough territory, 49-yard line. Clock continues to run.
Mariano didn't try to slip by anybody there. He actually lowered his shoulder to deliver a blow to the Hillsborough linebacker.
I think it's going to be more like 3 yards to go for East Brunswick. Mariano with it himself through the middle, and he gets a big first down to keep this drive alive. Clock will stop with 1:05.
East Brunswick's also signaling for a timeout, so they'll come over and talk it over, and now they have a shot there just outside the 35-yard line. You know, 1st and 10 from the Hillsborough 38. They're going to have a chance here at the end of the first half.
All right, according to our unofficial count, it is 2 timeouts used, 1 left. So, and this is Borden style. Rather than, you know, waste it down and have East Brunswick down the ball, he would rather call a timeout and talk about what to do, a couple of plays, and that's exactly what happened here. So what options do you have here, Kevin?
Well, the ball's in the center of the field, which is important for an option attack, because that means you can go really either direction. There is no wide side of the field, so it keeps Mariano. Mariano has many chances. I think Mariano on the ground has been the most dangerous option. When they've tried to throw, it seems like Hillsborough has been ready. I don't know if maybe you try to throw maybe on 1st down, back them up, make them think you're throwing from here on in. That could set them up for that quarterback draw. Obviously, Mariano's deceptiveness makes this offense go, and I think you're going to see that here in the closing plays of the 2nd quarter.
All right, East Brunswick's already set with 2 wideouts to the near side here. Let's see what we have. They're going after Mariano. He's going to reverse his field. I think they're going to get him. And they do. That's a big loss all the way back to the 49-yard line.
Yeah, that's one he probably needs to throw. It's tough to do, and he's a player who always makes things happen late in plays, so that probably gives him some confidence that, hey, I don't have to throw this away. Maybe with a minute left, though, perhaps he should have thrown that one away and started again from 2nd and 10.
Got a feeling East Brunswick's not going to do anything fancy here. Maybe be conservative with under 30 seconds left to go, and that's a straight running play up the middle. Park was the ball carrier.
The neat thing about the offense is that dive up the middle with John Park can be just as dangerous as a deep throw. And East Brunswick is so quick and so athletic. If they can slip through that defensive line, that first tackle or two, who knows? He could hit pay dirt.
All right, East Brunswick decides to use its final timeout with 16 seconds left to go in the half. It is 3rd down and a bunch here. I can't make out the yard markers. Can you?
Yeah, it looks
okay.
about 14, I would say. It looks
right.
like they're on about the 41-yard line.
Right. You have a feeling they're going to probably try 1 long pass play, see what they can get out of this. This has been a cat and mouse game all the way here. Each team kind of like a chess match. It is so obvious that these teams are evenly matched. They're very, very tough on defense, and they really do grind it out on offense, not preferring to go to the explosive game if they have to.
I see shotgun again here for Mariano. Like
You got it.
First play of the game.
Flag thrown. What we got? East Brunswick must have moved.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to cost them 5. It looked like the center was a little upset with himself. Number 61 for East Brunswick. That was Tony O'Giel.
When you call a timeout, granted it is really to stop the
All right.
clock.
You know, the way the Bears set up on that, I have a feeling they were not going to do anything fancy. This is just going to be a handoff to Park.
Or even Mariano running through that sign.
Nope, he is going to throw. Pass to the out flank. Caught by Zelak. Brought down. And clock runs with 8 seconds. Will Hillsborough try to stop it? No, they won't. All right, that's going to do it. That's the end of the first half of play. East Brunswick and Hillsborough tied 7-7. Kevin, a game where we thought these two teams would have to take advantage of opportunities, perhaps, in order to score points. Neither team preferring to go a long distance for a touchdown, and sure enough, that bore out.
Yeah, and I think East Brunswick, just looking at some of the players' faces on the field as they walk off, they look a little disappointed. They look a little angry. They had the 7-0 lead and probably feel a little bitter that they maybe opened up a door and let Hillsborough back in a little bit with that fumble in their own territory. Regardless, now it's halftime. Now you have to, you have to look at what happened, put that behind you, and get ready to play 2 quarters, 24 minutes of football to decide who goes to a state championship game.
Unless we go to overtime. And that's not out of the realm of impossibility. Meanwhile, the East Brunswick Band is going to be performing here at halftime, as well as the cheerleaders. We are going to take a short break and be back for the kickoff right after this. All right, we are back here at J. Doyle Field at halftime, to begin the second half of play with the score tied 7-7. Just a quick recap on the scoring. East Brunswick was the first to get on the board in the first quarter as the Bears recovered a fumble on about the Hillsborough 37-yard line and then proceeded to move the ball, converting a couple of fourth downs, and the second one on 4th and 1, Matt Mariano, the quarterback, scampered 6 yards to his right to make the score 6-0 at 2:01 of the first quarter. He converted the extra point to make it 7-0. Now, later in that quarter, with 10 minutes left in the second quarter, East Brunswick blocked a Hillsborough field goal attempt to preserve that 7-0 lead. But just with about 3.5 minutes left to go, East Brunswick had the ball in their own territory, and a pass intended for Nick Zelak, he was tackled. That ball popped up in the air and was lassoed in by a Hillsborough receiver who ran it all the way down to the 16. And from that point on, Hillsborough got it in on a 1-yard plunge by quarterback Seibert, Troy Seibert. The extra point was good as well to make it 7-7, and that's where we stand, Kevin, as the teams are on the field to begin the second half. Hillsborough will be kicking off, so East Brunswick, I believe, deferred to the second half, as we thought.
And now they get the benefit of receiving to start this third quarter.
And here we go. It's a grounder gathered up by, looks to be Jones. He's tackled by his shoestrings and gets up to the 25-yard line, and that's where the Bears will begin.
And number 27, Joe Ambrose from Hillsborough, really chasing him down nicely. Jones really never able to get that ball moving forward. He was still going laterally, hoping to outrun the pursuer, but unable to.
Kevin, if you're East Brunswick, do you do things differently?
I don't think so, not offensively at least. I think you keep looking to keep the ball in the very dangerous hands of Matt Mariano and look for your openings, look for your option.
Give is up the middle, and nothing doing there. See, my concern, Kevin, flag goes up in the air. Let's see what that's all about.
And that's probably going to be 15 against Hillsborough. Probably costly considering they were looking at a 2nd and 10.
And that's what it is, a personal foul on the Raiders. Maybe a little too aggressive on that tackle, so the Bears will be the recipient of a 15-yard personal foul on the Raiders. Matt, as I was saying, Kevin, if East Brunswick is going to move the ball, it's going to be starting with Matt Mariano, and it seems that Hillsborough has done an adequate job in shutting him down. That's why I'm wondering if East Brunswick needs to perhaps explore more options. Nonetheless, they do have a first down with the ball on their own 40-yard line. Mariano stutters along the line, and there again they have him. I'm sorry, Kevin, you were going to say something.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention on the drive where the fumble, East Brunswick's fumble did occur, they tried to get a little fancy, ran a little, not that it's terribly fancy, but they ran a screen pass out to the side, really got the ball out of Mariano's hands right away, and that led to the fumble, which led to the Hillsborough score. So I think the deceptive option attack, albeit predictable, has been very successful, has got them this far. I think that's probably where they'll stay.
2nd and 10 for East Brunswick. Mariano going to drop back to pass. He's rushed. And a flag, that's usually in the area of holding. We'll see what the call will be, however.
Actually, 2 flags came down on that play. A lineman official in the middle of the field threw one, and then the referee in the far backfield threw one. Looks like they both agreed on what the call was.
No, actually, there were 2 calls. I think they called that intentional grounding on East Brunswick as well. So if they take that penalty, it would also be a loss of down, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what they do. They refuse the holding penalty, except the intentional grounding, so I believe it will be a penalty as well as loss of down. That's correct.
Yep, looks like 5 yards from the spot of the foul and a loss of down.
So they have a bunch. They actually have to get to midfield to get a first down. So it's a 3rd down for the Bears. Underway here in the second half. Score tied 7-all.
back to where they started out, but they have a first down from there. So it's or a third down.
And with East Brunswick's offense, this is what you're trying to avoid, these type of 3rd and 25 situations.
Right.
It's hard to have many plays for this situation.
Steve Dalton, man in motion in the backfield.
Mariano gives up the middle.
Just going right up the middle, playing it very
And I believe that was who?
That's John
with the-
Park. Yep,
yeah.
John Park up the middle.
Got a few, and that's about it. East Brunswick's going to have to punt.
Yard line, but it is going to be a 4th down and 21, and East Brunswick will have to send Raphael.
And we're going to see now a continuation of the field position game that we saw in the first half, I think. Now East Brunswick punting from its own 29-yard line. It'll be up to Denise to get off a little better kick than he did in the first half. He had a couple of a little shorter ones. We're used to seeing him boom them a little bit further. He'll be hoping to correct that right here.
Yard line to field the punt by Raphael Denise on the far side.
Now, that's a better punt. However, it is fielded. And look at that coverage by East Brunswick.
Yeah, you called it, Jim. Fantastic coverage right there. And the first man down for East Brunswick was number 27. Is that what you have there?
Actually,
No, 22,
Zelak was down there, as
Yeah.
well as number 36.
Yeah, Nick Zelak is the man who was the first man there and then was able to trip him up. Just really did a nice job of swarming his legs, not letting the Hillsborough receiver go anywhere.
All right, Seibert will continue as the quarterback for Hillsborough. He replaced Meltretter. Here comes Seibert, and he's gets some good yardage there, actually.
Yeah, he seemed to be have 5 or 6 yards downfield before anybody touched him. That was a real nice look at the option there from Hillsborough.
So a gain of 7 on the play will make it 2nd down, 3 yards to go for Hillsborough. Ball resting on their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, this is dangerous field position for Hillsborough. It leaves them a lot of options. The ball on their own 47-yard line. They can be a little aggressive if they want to. We haven't seen them look to be aggressive yet. They're just content to run their option.
Seibert keeps it again. This time they have him, but he moves forward to midfield. Still be shy of the first down, however.
Chris Fegan for East Brunswick drove into the backfield there. Nearly had Seibert for a loss, but he was able to fall forward. Seibert got probably 2 yards, brings up a real important 3rd down from midfield.
Right, and 1 to go. So East Brunswick will, in situations like this, they've been successful in shooting the gaps and catching the ball carrier in the backfield. Let's see what happens here.
And I wonder if Hillsborough will adjust to that to clean up the center of the field.
Give is up the middle. Jordan with it. He gets the yardage. So another first down for Hillsborough. 2 in a row.
And East Brunswick wants to avoid allowing Hillsborough's offense to get that momentum. Momentum is a real key to this style of football, to this strong running game, strong option attack. It's all about momentum. Hillsborough has it now.
Here we go. Seibert up the middle is Jordan. He breaks the field down to the goal line, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Hillsborough. Chris Gordon, simple dive play off a tackle, and Hillsborough takes the lead for the first time this evening. A 43-yard touchdown run by Chris Jordan makes it 13-7 Hillsborough.
And that's how the option loosens you up a bit. I mean, they pound inside, they pound inside, they pound inside, and on that one, just a little slant run there. He was able to get outside the tackle and break it. Extra point attempt by Douglas. Kick is up, and let's see, what do they have? It's good. So the score, Hillsborough 14, East Brunswick 7. Yeah, real effective drive there from Hillsborough. They picked up, they got the ball right inside their own 40-yard line, picked up that 1 first down, and then Jordan, I mean, he's a big, strong guy. He fumbled that first ball early in the game when he was dragging East Brunswick defenders with him. That one, he didn't allow anything like that to happen. He just broke that first tackle and exploded into the open field.
All right, it'll be up to the Bears to respond. Deep for the East Brunswick team, McCluskey, along with Zelak, Jones, and Franchino are the middle backs. East Brunswick, ready for that in-between kick that Douglas has been booting all night. He hasn't been going deep on any of these kicks. Let's see what he does here. Again, it's a grounder, gathered up by Fessel. He heads to the middle, waits for his blocks, and is gang tackled on about the 36-yard line. That's where East Brunswick will begin. First down.
And traditionally, you use that type of kickoff in order to keep it away from certain kids on the East Brunswick sideline. In this case for East Brunswick, Dan Fessel is a player that East Brunswick wants to have the ball. He's someone quite accustomed to having the ball in open field, and he can be dangerous. Unfortunately there, he just ran out of blockers probably.
Well, maybe he will get his hands on the ball through the air, because I can't imagine that East Brunswick can continue, because they're focusing on Mariano. Okay, here's the quick give to Zelak. He does have some room on the right side. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, Kevin. They got to do things different.
That was exactly what you had been calling for. And there you looked, basically a power sweep there, a pitch outside. They had both the two of the other three running backs there leading him on that sweep, and they were able to get that edge and pick up a first down.
And that effort was a direct result on Hillsborough keying on Mariano. So the ball just at midfield. First down for the Bears. 8:04 left to go in the third quarter of play. It is 14-7 Hillsborough. Mariano with it. Thought he was going to hand that ball off, but he elected to keep it at the last moment and gets minimal yardage.
Yeah, and he put that ball in John Park's belly there for a little while, and then took it out at the last second. But there is some danger there while that ball is exposed, and you can see the Hillsborough players reaching for it. That can, that in between on the dive option can cause some trouble for you if you're not sure. Mariano, though, has proven to be very sure-handed this season.
So a second down and 9 yards to go for the Bears. Mariano again through that hole. Gets some good yardage up the middle. Down to the 34-yard line of Hillsborough. Another first down for the Bears. That's their second consecutive first down. It's been a while since we've seen two consecutive first downs by East Brunswick.
What was interesting on that play, you had John Park hit the hole first as the fullback. He blew up a couple of the Hillsborough linemen, and it looked for a second like Park had the ball, and there was Mariano scampering right behind him with the ball for real that time, and was able to get into the Hillsborough secondary.
Another first down for the Bears. Give is up the middle to Jones. Tripped up in the backfield. Maybe got past the line of scrimmage.
And that was the power look by East Brunswick again there. Full house backfield, the handoff to Jones trying to follow two blockers. Unlike the first option where we saw Zelak do that one didn't work as well, and they perhaps lost a bit.
No, actually, he just made it to the line of scrimmage, so we'll call it 2nd and 10. 6:40 remaining in the third quarter of play. It is 14-7 Hillsborough. They took the lead in this third quarter. East Brunswick's trying to respond. Pitch to the right. This is going to be an option pass to Zelak. To Dalton. Catches it. Inbounds, out of bounds on about the 2-yard line. Over the head catch by Dalton on an option pass by Zelak.
That's great.
And East Brunswick is in business.
Great concentration by the receiver there. Dalton and you could see that ball hovering for what seemed like an eternity down there as he waited for it to come down into his hands, and he stayed with it and made the catch right before he went out of bounds. Jimmy, I tell you what, you might as well be orchestrating this drive. You've been calling for something new, something different. Two huge plays here, both a little bit outside what we've seen East Brunswick do for most of the game.
Okay.
Those are the keys.
It's first down. Actually, they mark it on the 5-yard line, so East Brunswick needs to get in from 5 yards out. Mariano, a little bit of confusion there. He ended up with the ball, but I'm not sure it was intended to be that way. Manages to get it a yard out. Nope, no gain.
Yeah, he looked like he gave it a Park for a second, and then really, really late decided to take it back. And again, you don't want any kind of a turnover in this area. That's what you have to be careful about on that play.
That would be disastrous because opportunities are going to be far and there's not going to be a lot of them. All right, second down. Pitches the right to Zelak. He cuts inside. Does he get to the end zone? No, just short.
Power sweep there again. We've seen them run that now. That's the third time we've seen that run. And it seems Zelak is effective on it. He got a head of steam, got going, got his legs churning toward the goal line. It looks like only a few inches outside the goal line. That could have been very close.
If I know Marcus Borden, he's going to call a quarterback sneak here. That is his style. East Brunswick has 2 shots at getting it into the end zone. Ball marked just about a foot away from the goal line.
I tell you, East Brunswick's taking a lot of time to get up to the line here.
And this is going to be a battle in the trenches. Let's see what happens. Nope, they give the handoff. And punched in by, let's see, is that Jones or Zelak? We'll wait for them to uncover. And the touchdown goes to...
Looks like 22 Zelak.
Nick Zelak, number 22, gets an important first down. Excuse me, an important touchdown, and now an important extra point. That score coming by Zelak with 5:07 left to go in the third quarter to make the score 14-13. Here's the extra point attempt. High snap. Oh, Park is going to throw it. Looks like it. In the end zone. Oh, and it's a little long, and a high snap causes that extra point to be missed. Will that haunt East Brunswick?
I know it's haunting them right now, and now, you know, the pressure becomes back on East Brunswick, although they did do what was important there. They got the points back that they gave up on the Hillsborough touchdown. You don't, running an option attack, you do not want to fall 2 scores behind. East Brunswick's answering was huge. However, I think that extra point attempt may have taken a little bit of the momentum out of East Brunswick. They were on the highest of highs after scoring the touchdown, coming right back and answering, but now slightly frustrated at this moment.
14-13, is that a familiar score?
We've seen 1-point margins
that
quite
was
a bit.
That was the final last week at Brick. All right, now, Kevin, you mentioned that maybe a little momentum was lost. Let's see if the East Brunswick defense can rise to the occasion here, because they were actually Hillsborough smartly moved the ball on them in their first possession.
Yeah, I think East Brunswick, that's the challenge here. East Brunswick did a great job in the first half defensively of really hitting Hillsborough before they could get anything going, getting players, defensive linemen, and linebackers into their backfield. They're going to have to do that on this possession again.
Vinny Coagliera about ready to kick. That's a punch kick. And bounding around, finally brought up by Mazzagatti. Up the middle he goes, still on his feet. Almost breaks to the outside before Fessel lassos him down. That's really not the best special teams play by East Brunswick.
And it looked like they got the kickoff they wanted, that bounding kick. It bounced a few times before Hillsborough was able to gain possession. And that often gives you, as a coverage team, time to get down there and get into position. But credit Mazzucchetti there. He was able to follow that wedge through the middle and get across midfield.
Yeah, and gives Hillsborough much needed field position to see if they can pick up that drive. Seibert with it. Goes through, he's met and brought down by Park. And another tackler, I think Fessel was in on that as well. Gain of 3 on the play, making it 2nd and 7.
Looks like one of the adjustments Hillsborough has made here, perhaps at halftime, was to change their snap count a little bit. If you saw on that last play, a few of the East Brunswick linebackers looking to punch forward, looking to time the snap, had to actually take a step back and reset. Hillsborough was able to get the advantage then, the jump on the ball.
All right, the Somerset County team with a 2nd down and 7 on the East Brunswick 46-yard line. Seibert's going to keep it, gets to the outside, still on his feet before he slips up, and they're going to call him out of bounds on about the 39-yard line, which might be just enough for the first down, depending on where they mark it.
Yeah, it looks very close from this side.
And they say they're going to want to measure.
Yeah, the chains being on the far side of the field makes it a little bit more difficult to call. And you can see the momentum in Hillsborough there. They were already coming up to the line. They didn't even wait to see what the measurement was. They were all ready to go. They're in a groove offensively right now.
I can see that. And a first down it is for the Raiders. All right, now East Brunswick's defense is going to have to come up big. They're going to need a stop here during this drive.
And I think first down is the key. That's where they were able to break up the Hillsborough offense in the first half.
Ball on the 39-yard line of East Brunswick. First down, Hillsborough. Seibert pitches to the right, far behind Mazzagatti. He's going to have to hustle. Does he have some room on this side? And East Brunswick does a nice job of recovering. Tackling Mazzagatti. Let's see where that was. If it was a loss on that play, might have got back to the line of scrimmage. That was a good job by Mazzagatti just to keep that from being a loss.
For a second, it looked like East Brunswick got exactly what they needed, a big loss on first down. He was 7, 8, maybe even 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage before he turned it upfield. He actually looks like he gained about a yard or two.
Maybe a couple of yards. 2nd and 8. Ball on the 37-yard line. Seibert, nope, gives up the middle. Nothing doing there. Good play by East Brunswick defense.
Sure, Chris Fegan in there stuffed it at the line of scrimmage. Another big play for the defense.
Maybe a gain of 2 on the play. So it'll be a 3rd and 6 to go. 3:14 remaining in the third quarter of play. Hillsborough holding on to a 14-13 lead. Seibert under center. Going to pass. Looks long. Downfield and picked off by East Brunswick. Still on his feet is McCluskey. Let's see what we got here. Still on his feet. And an interception by Jimmy McCluskey. I told you he makes big plays. And that snuffs out a Hillsborough drive.
And that was some interesting play calling there by Hillsborough. 3rd and 6, they'd been moving the ball on the ground. Well, maybe it was 3rd and 6 that changed their mindset. I feel like since the second quarter, Hillsborough's been in 3rd and 1 every drive. This time, finally, it was 3rd and 6. They had to, or at least they felt they had to throw the ball. And boy, what a turnover on that play.
All right, let's see if East Brunswick can take advantage of this. They do have the ball in their territory. Let's see. Ball on the 28, 27-yard line. First down for the Bears. Give us up the middle. Is that Jones? Yes, it is. Jones with gets good yards on that play.
Yeah, not too bad. 4 yards on the kind of an off-tackle run there, or a little trap. Again, we're seeing a little more of a power running style as opposed to true option from East Brunswick here in the third quarter.
Clock continues to run down to 2:16 remaining in quarter 3. Hillsborough up 14-13. East Brunswick with the ball. 2nd and 6. Give is again up the middle. Good yards here. And I think that's good enough for a first down for the Bears. Nothing fancy here.
No, just power. They're lining up. They're going down the middle, and they're using the 2 running backs in the full house backfield. They're using 2 of the running backs as blockers, getting in behind them and trying to follow that wedge through. And that's grabbed them several first downs here in the second half.
Ball resting on the 40-yard line in East Brunswick territory. Another first down for the Bears. Matt Mariano pitches to Jones. He breaks one tackle, gets through another, and he gets out of bounds just before midfield, close to another first down. We have a flag on the play, however.
There did seem to be a hit quite late on the play, although judging by where the flag is, that's probably a hold from
and that's what the call will be. That's unfortunate for the Bears. They would have been close to another first down. And as it is, that'll be marked off from that point, so it's going to be a 2nd and 15. Now we'll call it 2nd and 16.
I think it might still be first down, though, because of the penalty. I think it's from the spot of the foul.
Exactly, but that was a second down play.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, here we go. Oh, they are calling it first down. I'll take it back. I thought he had made 4 yards on that play. Mariano gets out to the right. Does he get it? Oh, one block he needed. As it is, he got the first down.
Mariano got the corner there. He got out on the edge, and for the first time in probably about the last 8 or 10 plays, we saw Mariano isolated. They've been using the power running, now perhaps softened up the outside a little of Hillsborough. Hillsborough's had to come inside to deal with the East Brunswick power game. Mariano got out there. There were not enough white shirts out there to stop him. He can be quite deceptive there and picked up a big first down.
I could have swore that should have been a second down. I thought Jones made 4 yards on that one previous play before the hold, but nonetheless, East Brunswick does get the first down. Ball in Hillsborough territory on their 47. First down for East Brunswick. Mariano reverses his field, and a good tackle by 56. That's Hoffer for Hillsborough.
And that has been a play that Hillsborough has had some success stopping there. The misdirection, the fake handoff, and then Mariano trying to follow through in the middle. Although in the first quarter he picked up a big, had a good carry of 9 yards on a third down play. Lately, Hillsborough has handled that deception, the inside deception, pretty well.
Okay, this is East Brunswick's game. This up-tempo, quick movement, trying to keep Hillsborough off guard. Second down and 8. Mariano pitches to McCluskey, who's now in the game, and he's brought down in the backfield.
Matt Donahue from Hillsborough really was in the East Brunswick backfield. He had broken that play up from the beginning, didn't have much of a chance.
So that he is tackled for a loss of 2 to bring it back to the original line of scrimmage, making it 3rd and 10. And that is going to be the last play of the third quarter. So with 3 quarters in the book, 3 periods in the book, it is Hillsborough 14 and East Brunswick 13. Kevin, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I've been real impressed with the number of weapons East Brunswick has brought out today. You've seen Jones on carries. You've obviously seen Mariano, but there we saw McCluskey. I think that was his first carry, but they've used Zelak. They've used John Park.
Well,
they're trying to keep Hillsborough off balance with who they're attacking with on every single play.
You make a point, but I will also tell you in the previous play, John Park came up limping on that play and needed to come out for a play. So I don't know if he's going to re-enter the game here. I know he's walking on the sideline, limping a little bit.
And he's a player so central to East Brunswick on both sides of the ball. And even when he doesn't have the ball as a blocker and as just simply an option, a deceptive option as part of their attack.
All right. So here we go. Final quarter of play in this state playoff game, semifinal, Central Jersey Group 4. The winner will move on to play the winner of Jackson, seeded number 1, versus Saraville. They are playing at this time. We heard that Jackson had a 17-7 halftime lead.
Saraville's actually the only team that's played both of these teams. Saraville was a 13-7 victim of Hillsborough in the opener, and East Brunswick beat Saraville as well, 16-7.
Okay, a third down for East Brunswick. Ball on the Hillsborough 47-yard line. Mariano drops back, being chased. Now he's going to try to run with the ball, and they're going to get him short of the first down. Well, we got a flag down now. Let's see what this is about.
That flag's downfield a bit, too. An interesting spot for it. Could be a defensive back holding, perhaps?
If it is, it's a first down for the Bears. Well, the officials are talking about it. Let's see what we got here. Holding against Hillsborough, that it is. That could be a big call.
Sure. Now, I'm not sure if it carries an automatic first down in high school.
You're right.
However, I think where the flag is, if they mark it off 4 there, the yards it gives will be enough for a first down nonetheless.
You're absolutely right. That ball is going to give East Brunswick a first down. Ooh, a big call here. And it's a 10-yard penalty. Different rules in high school. And the ball is down on the Hillsborough 30-yard line. So a big play for East Brunswick to pick up that first down off that holding penalty.
And you can see at the top of your screen, the Hillsborough coach is asking for an explanation on either the spot of the foul or the mark-off. And you can see it on your screen there. He's very unhappy about some element of either the penalty itself or the marking off of the penalty. Either way, big break right there for East Brunswick.
That's head coach Rick Mance for the Raiders. All right, whether he's satisfied or not is not an issue at this point. First down for East Brunswick. Mariano again looking to pass. Throws downfield, and nobody in the vicinity. I think it might have been intended for McCluskey, but he had his back turned.
Yeah, McCluskey was streaking down that sideline, and he had a lot of open room. Had he stopped, and of course you don't know if that's part of the play, Mariano kind of threw it to where he was as opposed to where he was going. He was open if he had stopped, but by the time both had realized that, the ball was already away and behind McCluskey, the receiver.
All right, East Brunswick's somewhat out of character in throwing that ball on first down. You don't see that too much with this offense.
It had found a hole, though, too. They had Hillsborough at least surprised.
Okay, 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 30. 4th quarter here. Pitches to the right to Zelak. Here's a reverse. East Brunswick might have some room. A good block there. Gives some nice forward motion to number 46, Dalton. Let's see. He is going to be, that was probably good for what, about a 5-yard gain?
Yep, I'd say about 5.
Thought it had the markings of a little bit more.
Yeah, he was forced inside right at the end of that run.
Yeah.
He looked like he could have taken it outside, but I think Hillsborough did a nice job of forcing him inside where they still had 2 defenders waiting. And still a nice play, though. Picks up 5 yards and gives him a manageable 3rd and 5.
Exactly, 3rd and 5. Ball is on the 25. Mariano going to keep it. Gets past one tackler. Got enough for the first down. Still on his feet. And I think he's inside the 10-yard line.
Boy, Jim, did he shake a tackle in the backfield right at the line of scrimmage, and that would have brought up 4th down, and Mariano just shook him off the way we've seen him do for years here.
Exactly. He is really, this is where his leadership comes into play. Ball is resting just outside the 10-yard line. So conceivably the Bears could pick up a first down. Not likely, however. What do we got here?
I think he may have a timeout. That's an official's timeout as the signal, but I think Jones is limping off the field.
Okay, that's
probably
what's
why
happening.
the timeout was called.
It's an official timeout because Jones was injured, so he goes off the field. A first down for the Bears inside the 10-yard line. They are down by a point, 14-13. Mariano reverses his field, cuts inside. He started to go to left, and then he decided to reverse his field and go off right tackle and picked up about, 3 yards on the play, perhaps?
Yeah, Mariano there put the ball in the hip of his fullback, pulled it out at the last possible second once again, looked to use a little bit of misdirection, and 4 yards. And I tell you, the yards are going to be tough as they get down close here.
2nd down for the Bears. Mariano gives it up, gives it to Zelak, plunges forward inside the 5.
There was actually no timeout called by Hillsborough, but it was pulled back.
Zelak gets the ball down to inside the 5-yard line. So a gain of 2 on that play, making it 3rd and 4 to go. Kevin, at no worse, East Brunswick is in excellent field goal position. Ball is on the right hash mark, admittedly, but
although I'm sure they're not thinking.
Oh, I think they might.
Especially in this footage, but not at this moment. They really would.
Now there's the give up the middle.
Yep.
And Zelak, again, he took the conservative approach and puts it down. He is short of the first down, I believe.
This is going to be one of those great calls for a coach because
You're right.
It looks
Oh
to
my
me
gosh.
that it is 4th and inches from the 1-yard line. They're in relatively easy field goal range.
Yeah.
However, the problem is you're 1 yard from the line. You're 1 yard from perhaps taking a full touchdown lead. Although maybe it'll all be moot and they'll make it on the measurement. But I have a feeling they're about a half a yard short.
No, I appreciate the decision that has to be made here. This really, because you got a lot of things running through your mind if you're the coach. He is short, just short. What do? Do you take a timeout and think about it?
From that angle, I thought he had it. This is very close. I do think he used your timeout, and I think coach is going to do that. Although actually they don't have to because they're still resetting the chains. The play clock hasn't started yet.
And a timeout is called.
Mariano signaling.
I think that was a wise move. They really need to think this through. Will they get another opportunity like this?
Money on the line. What are you going to do here, Jim?
Well, I have to tell you, I have a little bit of consternation about that snap. You remember On a punt snap, it was bad for Rafael Denise, and then on the extra point. So I don't know who the snapper is, but he's not really having a particularly good night.
And both were a little bit high, too. And you know, that could be any number of factors. You know, slippery ball, slightly slick field, or the pressure of playing in a game that determines a state champion, or at least a place in the state championship game. My prediction is East Brunswick's going to go for this. I think that where they are in the field, I think Coach Borden has a lot of faith in his defense. If they don't get the first down, hey, Hillsborough's got to try to get out of the shadow of their own goalposts. But that's a prediction. I can do that from here.
8:55 to go in this game. It is 14-13 Hillsborough. It has been a thriller, and it continues to be. And let's see what East Brunswick decides. It looks like they're... I don't see
the T in Mariano's hands.
Well, here we go.
I like the call. It's a tough call, but I like the call.
Mariano at quarterback. He's going to give it to McCluskey, who goes through for a touchdown. How about that call?
I tell you, you got to love it. You got to love the call. And Jimmy McCluskey, who we saw jump into the end zone a few times against Woodbridge 2 weeks back, he's been a spark plug. He's somebody who doesn't get a lot of carries during the course of the game, right? I mean, we don't see him with carry after carry, but boy, does he get the big carries.
I have to believe East Brunswick is going to go for 2, but there is a player down on the field for the Bears. Who is that? Number 61.
Yeah, I have. I think that's Tony O'Giel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the last name right, but Tony O'Giel is who I have on the board. He is the center, I believe, for the offensive line.
Well,
and he did a great job on that play because I tell you, McCluskey had a lot of green right there to leap into and
well,
an explosion
Kevin,
from the offensive line.
This is the key to this play. Matt Mariano was the player that they were focusing on. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So that when he gave the ball on a straight dive to McCluskey, there was just that split second of indecision, and then Hillsborough, allowed McCluskey to get through.
If they're on their heels for a second, and they've got to be with Mariano on the field, they've got to be on their heels for a second, waiting for him to pull that ball back and jump outside. You know, as you said, he gives the ball off there. The hesitation cost them that yard. I mean, and the offensive line right there for East Brunswick, just driving the Hillsborough players back.
All right, so Tony O'Giel is going to get a ride on the cart to the sidelines. Don't know the severity of this injury. And I don't know if he's the snapper on the extra points, but nonetheless, East Brunswick will go for 2. Mariano pitches to the right to Zelak. He's going to look for the end zone. Does he get in? Yes. Yes, he does. A 2-point successful conversion, a big one.
Great job to get the point back from the missed extra point. I think that's gotta relax everybody on the green side for a second. You don't like leaving that point hanging out there, right? You know, you look at it when being up 6 at any time is always a very scary number.
Relaxed, Kevin? I think that's the last thing East Brunswick's going to do. Just relax. They've got 8:52 to go in this game to preserve this 7-point lead. Remember, they fell behind 14-7 and then responded with 2 touchdowns. Nikki Zelak playing a prominent role in each of those scores. The 1-yard touchdown at 5:07 of the third quarter. And then, of course, the extra point was not good on the high snap, but East Brunswick comes back.
And look at McCluskey on both ends of that drive. Starts it with the interception near the East Brunswick goal line and finishes it off in that same end zone after the quarter had changed.
This player is known for big plays all season long, and these are 2 of the bigger ones. All right, Vinny Quagliera. Now this time, the East Brunswick special teams has to do a better job than it did last. They got to keep Hillsborough in their own zone. It's a high boot this time. Going to be gathered in. And they corral the ball carrier. That was number 16. Meltreader, who was the starting quarterback, has since left the field after the first quarter to be spelled by Troy Seibert. So now, Hillsborough with the ball on their own 34-yard line. We'll see what it can do.
And you see East Brunswick used the hang time there to their advantage, a little change from their last kickoff.
Seibert calling signals for Hillsborough. Give is up the middle, and they're going to stuff him. Check that. Seibert decided to keep it. Still no yardage on the play.
Big first down stop for East Brunswick, though, and that was the key. When Hillsborough was moving the ball well, it was because they were picking up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down. Here, East Brunswick forces them for either a loss or no gain.
Maybe about 1 yard.
Yeah, maybe a short gain. But either way, I think East Brunswick's happy with that defensively.
All right, clock continuing to run with 8:20 left in this contest. 21-14 Bears. Give is up the middle. Jordan jumped over one tackler before he was met.
Yeah, John Park, I think, hit him real hard right there in the center of the field and really stood him up. And that was Jordan who broke that for a touchdown to give Hillsborough the lead. That looked like a similar play. He had a head of steam for a moment.
All right, let's call it 3rd and about 5 for Hillsborough. Ball on the 39-yard line, their own 39. There's the, looks like it's going to be a pass by Seibert. Can't find anybody. Now he throws it, it's caught, and gets by one tackler to get the first down. Boy, that was some good heads-up play.
Yeah, that was number 38, Anthony Visacaro for Hillsborough, and he did a great job finding a gap in the East Brunswick zone. He was initially covered as the quarterback rolled, as Seibert rolled, he was initially covered. When the quarterback continued to roll, it was like the play froze for a second. Visacaro actually just adjusted his position, took a few steps back, found that seam, and was able to complete a big pass.
All right, on the first down on the 48-yard line of Hillsborough for the Raiders. Seibert, nope, gives to Jordan.
John Park, another fine tackle in the middle. And Jordan, I think Jordan is quite tough to bring down. East Brunswick's doing it. Outside of that one play, East Brunswick's doing a real nice job containing him.
Gain of 3, we'll call it. 2nd and 7.
Jordan came in as the team's leading rusher for Hillsborough.
6:46 to go in the 4th quarter. Bears up by 7, 21-14. Hillsborough looking to tie it. Give is up the middle. Nothing fancy here, and East Brunswick stuffs it.
It's Jordan again.
And now we have another 3rd and long for the Raiders.
Number 48, David Ruffner, in there for East Brunswick. He makes a big stop on that play, stopping Jordan. We've seen a lot more of Jordan here in the second half, and I wonder, as a fullback, as a bruising back, if that's what Hillsborough tries to do, you know, run some other backs at you early on in the game, then pound you with Jordan as the game gets closer to its conclusion.
Another big 3rd down play here. 3rd and 7. Seibert in a shotgun. They rush him. He's looking to throw it downfield, and McCluskey just got a hand on it. Jimmy McCluskey just got a hand on it to break that up. So it's a 4th down.
The big plays find him, and I think he was a little disappointed with himself because I think he thought for a moment that he was either going to have it or bat it down, and he took a big swing at the ball, and I think maybe just got enough of a fingertip on it to change the flight of that ball and help break it up, forcing Hillsborough to a big 4th down.
And it does appear as though the Raiders will go for it, even though the ball is at midfield. 5:50 to go in this game. Plenty of time, really. But here we go. Seibert drops back, and they're going to rush him. Gets away from one tackle. Will he have enough room? And he dives across for the first down.
What an incredible effort by the quarterback right there, because he should have been down 3 or 4 yards before the line, and he leaped airborne over the East Brunswick tackler, and he was hit. He just kind of spun his way through the air, flying past the first down marker, and what a big conversion for Hillsborough.
So, right, so the ball is on the 41-yard line. Clock moving with 5:34 left to go in this game. This is a first down for Hillsborough. Pitches up the middle to Jordan, and he gets nothing.
The center of that East Brunswick defensive line coming up big once again on Jordan.
And it's starting to get nail-biting time.
Yeah,
Kevin Brady.
69 Raftonese right there in the center, and that's a big stop. Again, if you can force Hillsborough to 2nd and 10 and 3rd and longer, that really limits the breadth of what they can do, and it allows you defensively to zone in on a couple of options, although Hillsborough pulled out the 4th and 9 before.
Okay, here we go, 2nd and 10. Seibert keeps it, cuts inside, gets about 5 yards, actually.
Chris Fegan dragged him down after the 3 or 4 yard gain. Yeah, probably about a 5-yard gain.
Well, he needs to get to just outside the 30-yard line for a first down, so we'll call it 3rd and 5.
Now 3rd and 5 is where Hillsborough threw that interception last time. I think they'll be a little more conservative this time. I think they're going to run this ball.
He gives the ball off. Jordan still on his feet, gets to the outside, down to about the 20. Another first down. That was actually good deception by Seibert, the quarterback. I thought he had the ball. Hillsborough continuing to move the ball. They took this on the kickoff and has marched smartly down the field.
And Jordan has been really running downhill on this drive. I mean, he's getting his body moving toward the East Brunswick end zone.
Seibert gives it to Mazzagatti. We haven't heard his name for a while, and he gets stood up. No gain on that play.
Yeah, Johnny, it looked like he was stood up by one East Brunswick defender and dragged down by the other. 47 for East Brunswick. That was Chris Fegan and John Park in on the tackle.
You know, one thing, Kevin, this drive is actually using up a lot of clock, so this could be Hillsborough's only opportunity to not just tying score. 2nd and 10. Seibert gives up the middle to Jordan. Dragged all the way down to about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, Danny Fessel there looked like he saved a touchdown, slowing him down for a second. Mike Francino finished him off right at the end, but a very dangerous position right now.
Hey, how about some of this running by Chris Jordan at Hillsborough?
Boy, he's tough. Now you see why he's the leading rusher. I tell you, we didn't see why he was the leading rusher in the first half. He had that costly fumble that led to an East Brunswick touchdown. But boy, this second half he's taken over. First the big touchdown run, and this drive getting the tough and dirty yards.
First and goal for Hillsborough at the 3. Seibert keeps it himself, and is he in?
I see the official pointing to the ground, so no, but they're very, very close.
2nd down and goal. Ball resting just outside the end zone. And the clock continues to run with 2:30 left to go in this game, or at least regulation time.
If Hillsborough gets this final yard, Jim, this is going to be a very interesting extra point attempt.
I think you got to go for the extra point, 1 point. Are you
I agree.
suggesting that they're going to try for 2?
I think they would go for 1, but
okay.
I tell you, with the footing and the way things are out there.
You're right. All right, here it is. Seibert gives it up the middle. Stood up.
They stood him up that time.
Yes, they did. He might have lost a yard on that.
Now the official on the near side marking his forward progress really close to the goal line, so I don't think they're going to mark much of a loss, if anything. They're still right a nose of the ball away from the line.
That East Brunswick defense has played superb, and they're going to have to call on it one more time. Meanwhile, the clock is down to 1 minute and 30 seconds here. Seibert, is he going to try it himself? Nope, going to give it off. Mazzagatti. Boy, now they call it.
It was a while for that signal.
Mazzagatti gets the touchdown. East Brunswick crowd not happy about that. The indecision, I guess. But
it was late, and you like to see that. The official making sure, the linesman there, or the line judge, making sure he was able to see where that ball was. And I'm sure the East Brunswick crowd wondering, hey, you know, if he wasn't over the line at the beginning, how did you decide later?
Okay, here we go with that extra point. It will be tried by number 15, Derek Douglas. And as you mentioned, Kevin, this is going to have to be a good snap. and everything's going to have to go right.
And you see a lot of discussion there. The Hillsborough players all turning and looking back for a moment.
Making sure they have enough players on the field. And here we go. Snap is good. Kick is up and through. And here we are tied at 21 all. Boy, these kids are in a pressure cooker now.
And you wonder, with 1 minute and 21 seconds left, East Brunswick, although they were able to move the ball at the end of the first half, they're not really suited for a quick strike attack. However, I think it's going to come to that right now. It'll be interesting to see the field position that East Brunswick was able to get off of this kickoff. That could determine how this last 81 seconds comes down. If they're stuck inside their 30-yard line, I don't see them being very aggressive. But hey, if you can get the ball near midfield on the kickoff return, that opens up options to take a few shots downfield and see what happens. I think East Brunswick still has their timeouts as well.
Yes, they used that one timeout to discuss whether or not they would go for that field goal. Recall, Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Two remaining though does give them some options.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, this game has been every bit of what we thought it would be and more. And we're not through by any stretch of the imagination. It's tied 21-21 with 1:21. Boy, 21s are wild here. 1:21 left to go in the regulation time. At stake is a trip to the finals of Central Jersey Group 4 to meet the winner of Jackson and Saraville.
Interesting formation here by East Brunswick on the kickoff return. Only one returner back and really 10 players.
Here's the kick. It's a grounder. Bounding high, picked up by, it looks like McCluskey has it. And he is down on about the 39-yard line.
All right, that's not terrible field position. That gives you a spot where you can look to attack. You can attack from the 39-yard line.
All right, Jones has not returned to the game for East Brunswick.
It doesn't look like either has O'Giel. I've seen him off on the sideline.
So the Bears will see what they can do. Actually, Jones is in the game. Mariano calling signals, gives it, nope, keeps it himself. Gets very little.
And East Brunswick not terribly rushing here.
I think each team is going to measure each other and see who calls the bluff first.
I think East Brunswick's fear right there is if they run 2 or 3 quick ones with no gain, they may have to give that ball back if Hillsborough uses its timeouts. Now we're, inside 45 seconds remaining in the game. East Brunswick's not going to have to worry about giving the ball back. I don't think so.
Mariano goes to his left, tucks the ball under his shoulder, and is dragged down in the backfield for a loss.
Yeah, that's a very safe little quarterback sweep there.
Yeah, there was nothing. I think that was intended that way. Clock is going to run, and if East Brunswick chooses, they can let this clock run out.
I am slightly surprised they didn't attack a little bit more in one of those plays. I guess you don't want to give up a turnover, though, or a fumble. On a night like this, take your chances here from the 25-yard line in overtime.
And that's what's going to happen. Clock runs out of time. We're out of regulation time, so we are going to go to OT. And just to set up the stage here, teams are going to flip the coin and decide who goes first, but each team will get a possession from its 25-yard line. Kevin, you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we'll move this along, but essentially if one team scores those points, whether it be 7 or a field goal, the other team needs to respond on that next possession of the game is over. If they both tie again, we go to the next round.
Yeah, it almost turns into a baseball game, and you play innings. Whoever gets the ball first, you're the top of the first overtime, and
exactly.
And the advantage. Well, where do you think the advantage is, Jim? In some ways, the advantage might be in the top. Put the pressure on the other team.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, the coaches are in on this. I guess this is a high school rule, and actually both coaches should be congratulated on a great game that has been played by each team.
And I tell you what I just saw out there was both coaches shaking the other captain's hands. I think both coaches recognizing the epic nature of this battle today and really congratulating the effort on both teams. And that it's been what a game of a number 2 seed versus a number 3 seed should be, a battle, and it's going to come down to an untimed overtime.
All right, the official going through an explanation as to what's going to happen. You got Park out there, along with Greg Byrne, the other captain. Making sure that players are very clear on the decisions that they have to make. You know, Hillsborough's been involved in 2 overtime games this season.
Both victorious, I believe, too.
Oh, yes, they were. They went against, I believe, 100 and Central, winning 23-20. That was a field goal win. Got to think about that. And then the next game, actually, at Franklin, they won 27-20. That was in overtime as well.
And it's interesting, too, that those 2 teams that they went into overtime were 2 of the mid-pack teams. Actually, 100 and Central was finished in the middle of their league with a 5-5 record. Franklin was down near the bottom of the table with a 3-6 record. So they played close games against the teams that they finished ahead of. You know, and those overtime games were the difference in them finishing in second place. First place in their league was taken by Phillipsburg this year, a state power, the State Liners, who I believe are in action tonight. Very strong team, but a big school that plays, I believe, in one of the North Jersey groups.
Well, actually, they're destined to clash with Piscataway if the Chiefs get through their part of the bracket. So that should be an interesting
Very
final.
interesting game, yes.
Yeah. Wow, they're taking a while to discuss this.
And this is what I think the situation here is. You don't want any questions. You don't want anything left unasked at this point. We're just having the coin flip right now.
All right, looks like Hillsborough's won the toss. So what do they decide? And East Brunswick's going to defend that goal. And here we go. Check that. East Brunswick is going to defend the right side.
Yeah, I wonder if what East Brunswick got to do at that point was choose which goal to attack. I think that might have been that signal to that side. Said, hey, we're going to play down in this end zone.
I think it was a good choice considering the sand on the other side.
Yeah. Now, would you prefer, Jim, to have the ball first in this situation?
I don't know what I would do here. I really don't.
I mean, the nice thing about last is you know exactly what you have to do. If they put up, if they put up a 7, you know you have to put up the 7. As opposed, if you're in that 4th down situation, you know if the field goal will win it or if you have to go for the touchdown. I guess that is the greatest benefit.
I feel that if East Brunswick does its job and shuts down Hillsborough, it knows what it has to do to win the game.
That's the benefit, right? And that's why Hillsborough has chosen to go second, if you will, and East Brunswick will be forced to put up what they can in the top of this first overtime.
All right, it is on the 25-yard line where the Bears will begin. Mariano is going to throw it, looks like. Lofts it to the corner. Open is number 22 and knocked away by number 9.
Matt Donahue with a great pass break up there. And I tell you what, I don't know, it's not the flag, it is a ball in the end zone. I thought there was a flag in the play back there. But Donahue, what a wonderful play. That ball was in the air, and it had a chance for East Brunswick. Zelak was running under it. The pass looked like it was beautifully thrown, but broken up gamely by Donahue, and saved a touchdown on that play.
All right, so a 2nd and 10. Again, they can continue this drive with a first down. They do not have to score. Mariano keeps it himself, gets past one tackler, another, still on his feet. Boy, has he done a job tonight in breaking tackles.
And you saw a nifty little fake pitch right about 2 yards over the line of scrimmage. Mariano just kind of twisted his hips a bit, showed the ball for a second, and that froze the Hillsborough linebacker, made him step outside. Mariano cut right inside him and was able to pick up that first down.
And it is 1st and 10 on the 11-yard line. So again, same situation. East Brunswick can conceivably get another first down inside the 1-yard line. But they're looking to put points on the board here. There's the give. Mariano on his feet. He's got some room to the outside. Tripped up. A nice saving tackle by 38 for Sicaro.
Yeah, it looked like he just knocked him off balance just enough to stop his momentum. Mariano started the play to the left. It broke down for a second, and he smartly broke it off to the right, where there were only 2 Hillsborough players. Unfortunately, he couldn't elude both of them, but still a positive pickup on the play.
Of 5 yards to make it 2nd and 5 for East Brunswick. Here we go. Mariano, he has it. Pitches to Zelak. Has some room.
Looks like about the 2-yard line, maybe.
I think about the 3.
Yeah. Looked like there was a little hole for a moment, but it closed very quickly.
Well, I think maybe they're only going to give him 1 yard, actually. So the ball on the 4-yard line. So they're going to need to get about 3.5 yards for the first down.
Boy, and you just see another interesting decision looming if they're unable to get those 3 yards on this play.
Mariano gives up the middle. And let's see where we got here.
I tell you, I don't think you're going to have to worry about a decision.
It might be good enough for a first down.
That's what I'm thinking. I think he's inside the 1 yard line. I don't think he's in the end zone. But I think it's going to be a first down for East Brunswick. Judging by where I see that official's foot, they're going to measure it, though, Jim.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, actually, you know what? That ball isn't spotted as close as I thought. I thought it was much closer to the end zone initially.
Well, the players are gathered around it. And what do we got here?
Oh, inches.
It is short.
Inches.
Oh, they give it the first down to East Brunswick.
I tell you.
How close was that?
You could see the way the official was looking at the spot where it came down to a link of the chain at that point, and I think he checked the angle, got a little closer to see it, and just the nose of the ball. All that has to happen is that nose of the ball has to be over the line where the chain is marked down, or where the when the chain is stretched to.
All right, East Brunswick gets 4 shots to get into the end zone. Mariano sneaks it.
There's that quarterback.
Wait for the signal. And yes, it is in. Mariano gets the touchdown.
Jim, you called that quarterback sneak about 2 quarters ago on the last 4th and 1. He just waited a little. Coach Borden waited a little bit for you.
Matt Mariano plunging over on the quarterback sneak, 1 yard in overtime, the first overtime. And the extra point here now.
Yeah, you can't underestimate the importance of this moment right now in the game.
Right. Everything is magnified in overtime. Mariano will attempt the kick. High snap, but he gets it down and up. Nice recovery by East Brunswick.
The East Brunswick holder there, and I believe it's number 30, John Park.
Yeah.
Boy, you have to give him a lot of credit. He jumped, and it was almost the exact same snap that East Brunswick had trouble with early, and on that one, John Park tried to pick it up and run and then even throw it at the end. John Park on that one took it down and said, you know what, I'm going to give Mariano a chance to kick this ball, and he did.
Okay, so the score now is 28-21. Hillsborough will have its opportunity from the 25, but they must score 7 points to keep this alive.
You got to credit Mariano for maintaining his timing on the play too. When that snap comes up, that could throw off your footwork, throw off your step to the ball. Mariano stayed calm, trusted holder John Park to get the ball down, and that gives him the 7-point lead.
All right, Hillsborough will start. Seibert going to keep it himself. Pitches high. However, it was gathered in. Boy, that was a big save by Verasano.
John Park with another huge tackle right there. And I tell you, you're right, that's an important save, because if that ball is fumbled, this game is over if East Brunswick recovers.
Loses a half yard on that play, so make it 2nd and 10, 2nd and 10 and a half. Hillsborough needing a score here to keep this game alive. Seibert going to throw, looking deep, across the middle, intercepted, game over. Game over,
McCluskey
intercepted
again.
by
McCluskey again.
Jimmy McCluskey, and East Brunswick with a thrilling 28-21 overtime victory will move on to the Central Jersey Group 4 championship game. How about that for a finish, Kevin?
I tell you, Jimmy, I right before that play started, I saw a size mismatch over there, and I'm like, you know what? They're going to throw this ball against McCluskey. And they had the height mismatch, put it up there, and boy, McCluskey climbed the ladder and grabbed the ball.
Look at the team. Boy, this is just starting to sink in, Kevin.
Oh, sure. And look at McCluskey does not want to let go of that ball. You can see him in your screen there. Yeah. I don't know. He may be sleeping with that ball tonight.
Kevin, I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you had a chance to name a player for the game for East Brunswick, who would that be?
Gee, I think there's a name we've said quite a bit on very important plays, especially toward the end of this game.
Yeah. I just said at the beginning of the first half, if you remember, I said, Jimmy McCluskey makes big plays. And from that point on, it seemed like he was making big play after big play after big play. Oh, boy, what a game. So we have to stand by to see who East Brunswick will play and actually where. But lost in all this is that East Brunswick has to regroup and play Old Bridge 5 days from now on Thanksgiving.
And I see Old Bridge sitting right outside watching this game, and I tell you what, I bet they're quite impressed by what they saw tonight. What a fantastic high school football game.
Yeah, and give credit to Hillsborough. Boy, did they come to play. They did just a great job. I have to think in the end, the senior leadership by East Brunswick, that poise by Matt Mariano to score that winning touchdown, give it to McCluskey for the touchdown, and East Brunswick comes away with a 28-21 overtime victory. This is going to be memorable for a lot of reasons. Number one, it gives East Brunswick another opportunity to play for a championship, Kevin Brady, that they've never won. They've been there a couple of times. They came oh so close last time back in 1984, I believe it was. They had an opportunity and lost it in overtime to J.B. Stevens. And really this is just, it's a great moment for the East Brunswick program to just have this opportunity to move on.
And let me just tell you a couple of things I've just seen at the game as the kids are shaking hands. I just saw number 53 for East Brunswick, who's Greg Byrne, and the teams actually crossed after they shook hands, which you don't really like it when you're watching because you never know in a spirited, hard-fought game. And I tell you, both teams, the guys hugging each other and shaking each other's hands from the other teams, congratulating each other on a game well played. Excellent sportsmanship by Hillsborough and East Brunswick, and what recognition of just a finely played high school football game, and two teams very deserving of the successful seasons that they've both gone through.
Very well put, Kevin, and we could go on talking about all the players that came up big in this game for the Bears. Suffice to say, it was a team win, and a lot of emotion going on out there with Matt Mariano, the quarterback, being hugged by his coaches. But I don't think there's anything better we can do than just to sign off by looking at this team as it gets its talk by Marcus Borden and gets maybe a couple hours to celebrate, and then they're going to go back to the drawing board for a Thanksgiving game. But then to look ahead to a Central Jersey Group 4 final.
And it just as you see the kids on the screen, this is what high school sports is about. It's about giving kids experiences and memories that are going to last forever. And I'm telling you what, these kids are going to remember this game. When they come back to visit East Brunswick High School 10 years down the road, as we saw some kids out here today, they're going to be remembering that for a long time, and you can see it on their faces.
Alrighty, that is going to do it here at J. Doyle Field at East Brunswick High School. The final tonight in Central Jersey Group 4 semifinals, East Brunswick 28, Hillsborough 21, an overtime victory. For Kevin Brady, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.